Since it premiered in 2005 on the CW, Supernatural has enjoyed a long-lasting success, with it largely considered to be the most popular series for the CW network, as well as being the best CW show of all time. 15 seasons, bro. 15. And now we're gonna get a 16th? Good, because the 15th season? Nah. You know, Supernatural's had its ups and downs, but 15 is very homophobic. Anyways, for 15 whole seasons, we've been blessed with the hotness of Sam and Dean Winchester, hottest brothers ever, as they battled everything from monsters to biblical entities, because that's where the show went. Season 4 is when we got Castiel, and man, that's when it really started getting crazy. Despite its immense staying power from the beginning, Supernatural never really became a massive universe for the CW, akin to like the DC Arrowverse or the Vampire Diaries and their spin-off shows, which Vampire Diaries is more like a trilogy of spin-off shows. You got Vampire Diaries, the originals, and then Legacies, which we can throw away Legacies. We don't gotta talk about that. We were supposed to get a spin-off show called Bloodlines. They actually made an episode about it that was supposed to be like a backdoor pilot, but it didn't really go through. Eventually, we did get a spin-off about Sam and Dean's parents, Mary Campbell and John Winchester, in the 70s that was called The Winchesters, but that show sucked, so it got canceled. So we don't really have a good Supernatural spin-off, or do we?
Have we got a show for you?
Hear me out. What if you get the people who made the Death Note anime and you make them make a Supernatural anime? That's what we got. Dude, when I was into Supernatural, this was the coolest thing I ever saw because it fed the two things I love most in the world. Supernatural and anime. Put them together and you got Supernatural the Anime series, which is also called Supernatural the Animation, which is a dumb name, so I'm going to call it Supernatural the Anime because it's better. Supernatural the Anime came out on February 9th, 2011, and had 22 episodes, and was of course produced by the legendary Japanese animation studio Madhouse, who made Death Note, Perfect Blue, Black Lagoon, and other things. It was also the only spin-off to come out of the Supernatural franchise before the shitty Winchesters one in 2022. We will talk about eventually why the anime is better than the Winchesters spin-off show, but let's just keep talking about the show in general. When it was produced by a Japanese animation studio, the show featured an impressive Japanese dub with... Okay, I'm gonna have a very hard time pronouncing these names, but just so you know, these people also do the dubbing for Sam and Dean for the live-action show. Okay, Yuya Uchida and Hiroki Tochi, okay, I think I got it right, reprising their roles for Sam and Dean because they were also the Japanese dub for Sam and Dean, the live-action show. For the English version, surprisingly, Jared Padalecki actually voices himself, while Jensen Ackles couldn't. He only did for the final 2 episodes of the anime, which is the show's unfortunate, biggest blemish. Although the person who voices Dean in the show, Andrew Farrar, did do a solid job for, the first 20 episodes of the show. Now, here's the thing, though. Determining what is canon or not as much discussed aspect of the franchise's fandoms, which raises questions about the standing of the anime series within the official story of Supernatural, officially, the anime actually isn't really canon to the TV show, though some fans like to view it as part of a greater canon of the franchise, especially with how the story unfolds throughout its 22 episodes, leaving it open for some interpretation. The way it ties into the live-action series is actually pretty interesting, though, as Supernatural, the anime, covers the plot of the first 2 seasons of Supernatural, while also featuring new storylines about Sam and Dean's childhoods, and expanding on some of the secondary characters. While these stories, especially diving into the Winchesters' past, might not fit perfectly within the canon of the live-action series, it does do a pretty good job of providing new, context for some of the show's early storylines. So, why was the anime better than the Winchester spinoff? Well, the key to the spinoff success was, very simple, okay? It didn't try to reinvent the show. It didn't try to reinvent the franchise. Instead, the anime adapted episodes in the first 2 seasons of the show, reimagining stories like Skin, Home, and Heart, while also adding new original cases that blended in seamlessly with the show's tone. This created the feel of an alternate universe version of Supernatural that didn't require viewers to learn new characters or invest in unfamiliar arcs. It was just Sam and Dean drawn differently. Quite literally. I mean, not quite literally, but kind of quite literally. Another major strength was that it treated the material with reverence. It wasn't trying to replace the OG show, it was enhancing it, and like I said before, Jared Padalecki returned to voice Sam Winchester throughout the entire series, and of course, Jensen had to voice Dean in the last 2 episodes. And even when Jensen wasn't involved with the show, the stories were so tied to the existing Supernatural mythos that it still felt authentic. In essence, the first Supernatural spin-off succeeded because it understood that the franchise lives and dies by its leads. The monsters, the demons, and urban legends are important, but they're all in service to Sam and Dean's journey. By anchoring the series in those familiar characters and beloved episodes, the anime became a kind of love letter to the early days of the show, giving fans more of what they already loved instead of asking them to start over. But that's the core mistake that the Winchesters would eventually make, which is what we're going to get into right now. The Winchesters announced with plenty of fanfare and high expectations. It was announced with, all that. Executive producer, and it was, okay, this is the crazy part. It was executive produced and narrated by Jensen Ackles, Dean Winchester. Anyways. The prequel promised to explore the untold love story of John and Mary Winchester, aka Sam and Dean's parents, and reveal hidden truths about the Supernatural timeline. In theory, this sounded like a compelling extension of the Supernatural mythology. In practice, however, the show lost sight of what made Supernatural special in the first place, which I wish they didn't, because there was so much in the show that, I did not understand, what do you mean John was part of a club or whatever? What is going on? What are you not telling me? Well, why won't the prequel tell me this stuff? You see, the problem with the show wasn't that it was a prequel. The problem was that it pivoted away from the very foundation of the franchise. The boys, Sam and Dean. The first Supernatural spin-off made this mistake by focusing entirely on new characters and a revised timeline, leaning heavily on lore and cosmic mysteries just to justify its plot. Even with Dean narrating popping in occasionally, it felt like a side story with little emotional connection to the characters that fans had spent 15 years following. Look, it's understandable that the Winchesters wanted to carve its own identity. Most successful spin-offs like Better Call Saul or Fear of the Walking Dead build new stories in its existing universes. You have to watch the beginning of Better Call Saul, then stop, then watch Breaking Bad, and then watch El Camino, and then watch the rest of Better Call Saul just to figure it all out. And for Fear of the Walking Dead, let's not talk about that right now. But here's the thing, Supernatural isn't like other franchises. Supernatural's fan base is deeply tied to the personalities, chemistry, and brotherly bond of the boys. And without them at the center, the emotional core vanishes. Not only that, but the show, The Winchesters, it suffered from a tonal whiplash. The prequel tried to capture Supernatural's signature blend of horror, humor, and heart, but without the grounding presence of Sam and Dean, the result often felt like a cosplay in a familiar world. While leads Drake Roger and Meg Donnelly deliver a strong performance, don't get me wrong on that, their characters were reimaginings of versions fans had already seen die, sacrifice, and live out their arcs. The stakes never really quite landed, and neither did the nostalgia. Ironically, like I've already mentioned before, the Winchesters had one of the franchise's strongest assets on board, that being Jensen Ackles, and it still couldn't really fully recapture the magic. Despite some interesting ideas and fan service moments, the show missed the point of the first Supernatural spin-off, which, the anime. Fans didn't want new heroes, they just wanted more Sam and Dean. If the Supernatural franchise ever gets another shot, it has to go back to what worked. I know we're getting a season 16, but we gotta at least make sure we're focused on, Sam and Dean somehow. Supernatural the anime understood that, fact. They understood that it had to be about Sam and Dean. It gave fans new content without sacrificing the characters that were actually there to see. That should be the blueprint going forward. You could really realistically do anything with Supernatural. You can make an animated sequel if you wanted to. Oh my god, bring back the Death Note people and we'll get something good. We can even get a post-Supernatural spin-off featuring the brothers in the afterlife with the car. Don't ask me how a car got into heaven, okay? That's all Jack, bro. I don't even know why Jack did that. that's the whole video. I finally made a video about Supernatural the anime. And I'm wearing a Ghostbusters shirt because the next video is going to be a movie review about my stepmother's an alien. So we're going to be talking about Dan Aykroyd. I am an adult. Anyways, I have made thumbnails for about half my videos. I stopped at Doug. But there will be a movie review for Cannibal the Musical. That's a big video. There will be a video about Star Wars analog horror. That's why I'm back, you know. Buffy the Vampire Slayer had an animated series. Expect that video. A movie review is coming for Loving Vincent. So, there's that. We're also getting a video about the difference between Supergirl and Superman's powers. There's a difference. Let me know if I should make a video about her very first movie. I know it's bad. I know it is, but like, we're getting a new one from James Gunn, alright? And that's gonna be good. So, there's that. And then I'm gonna make some monkey-related videos. It might be like a mini-series. And then a Jackass video. Been a while. And then talking about the Supernatural spin-off The Winchesters again. And by the way, I saw that the new Monkeys video got like 218 views. And I said that if that video got 200 views, I watched the show. Well, expect the video. You guys asked for it. Expect the video. I can't back down on my promise. I said I'd do it, and I'm gonna do it. You just need to be patient with me, okay? I have a schedule to upkeep. Okay? I don't want to do it, man. Oh my god. This show's so dumb.